Haha. Well, I'm a little late here, Winkler, so that is why I'm wearing my late cataracts glasses. So, hopefully I can get through this without any mess ups here. Um, all right. Question number one. Explain how the PC revitalized video gaming. You know what? I don't really think that it did revitalize it as much as uh, Nintendo and Miyamoto did, but I think computers computers were um, programmed for games to keep military personnel, I don't know, entertained while they're doing war games or whatever in the 50s and 60s. I think video games were first created that way through military uh, intelligence produced for war games to keep entertained while they were, I don't know, setting up whatever they did in the military, top secret stuff. Um, but anyway, computers or video games were kind of only played first in universities or places where they had huge uh, computers set up that could hold all these games, and you had to sneak in and play them, and only a few people could play these games or had access to them. And I think the first original games were kind of like Asteroid or text input games where you're in some fantasy adventure and you it says, you come upon a goblin or something, what do you want to do? And you're like, you got to text in, oh, I got to take a dump. Can I take a break or something? And they're like, oh, you want to throw a brown grenade at him or something? Or, and it's, I don't know, weird. But um, I guess caught on because after the video game crash, which only was really seen in North America and Canada, computers started to get more recognition for gaming because they were not only just built for business or typing and whatever you could do through a company that you might get a computer for or whatever you got it for. It was kind of like a multi um, programmed thing you could just hook up easily out of a box. I don't think it was um, too cheap. I think what was the Atari? It was like $100 or something. And these computers were, I don't know, 500, 600, sometimes thousands of dollars to get. But once you had it, you know, obviously they had more storage space, better graphics, and floppy disks that were easily um, copied and sold, and you could do everything with this computer, not just typing and whatever, sending emails, if that existed then. I don't know. But yeah, so once the PC started becoming more available, more people sought them out for its better quality of everything. It just totally beat out the Atari, and PC pretty much contributed to a lot of genres. I think FPS was the first to appear on a PC. What was it? Wolfenstein or Doom or something? Wolfenstein, I think, 3D or whatever. Awesome. I used to play the one for PlayStation, Return to Castle Wolfenstein or whatever that was. But yeah, and then things took off for the PCs because now you can just get stuff you can just add on to your computer to make it have better graphics or faster, better quality, whatever, more storage. And yeah, I'm not a huge PC gamer, but you guys probably have it the best because you, whatever happens, there's something you can add onto your computer. You don't have to buy a whole new console or whatever. So yeah, number two, explain who Shigeru Miyamoto is and how he brought back the home console in America. Yeah, this guy is a complete badass uh, from Japan. Uh, when he was hired on to Nintendo, he had no experience with gaming or whatever, but this is how he made his name. After working on, let's see, what was that? Radar Gun, or after Nintendo made an arcade uh, radar blaster, or what is it? Scope, radar scope. For an arcade, shipped a couple thousand units over to America, which took forever. And once they got there, they're already outdated, so they only sold a few. And so the president, um, Yoshi, or what was his name? Imachi, I think, um, was like, well, let's create a game we can fit into um, these other shells. We can get these units out and put a different game in them that people would probably buy. So Miyamoto was like, yeah, let me do something. Let me make something for that. I can make a game. Why not? And he actually came up with, what was it, Donkey Kong. He had no prior experience to gaming or whatever, and created Donkey Kong, which was loosely based off of Popeye, if anybody knew that, which is kind of funny. And then yeah, the president was like, "Yeah, dude, awesome. You got more levels. Introduced a guy that jumped. No games had any guys that could jump earlier. Um, had levels and was like, yeah, ship them over to America and see how it goes." And they ended up gutting out all these radar scope units that weren't sold, and the game took off. They found out that there was just shit tons of coins in these arcades. I think that were first in Seattle, tested in Seattle, and from there he just went up the chain with the video games. Later for the Famicom, or the NES as it's called in the United States. Created Super Mario Brothers from Donkey Kong, Mario there guy there, and who was Jumpman originally, but created Mario and just sold units, man, just sold games. Everybody loved it. Nintendo brought the home system back to the consumer with these awesome games that he created, and Zelda, which was based on his childhood, where he would just go through cities with no map and get lost. You don't know where you're going, what turn you'd take, and whatever. And this guy was just a true innovator, and I think he just understood what could be sold, and what games really needed to have um, in with the console, like being able to save your game in the middle of it, and more uh, bits for the Nintendo, um, better graphics, sound, way better games, more entertainment, and that's what brought the uh, home console back to America. Shigeru Miyamoto, you're the man. Um, and explain how the Sony PlayStation marked the end of the 16-bit war between Sega and Nintendo. I think this is more of Sega's doing than anything else. I think Sega was looking to get out of the 16-bit or make discs that could store more information, have better graphics and whatnot. And um, think Sony just kind of ran away with it and essentially ended up leapfrogging both Sega and Nintendo into this 32-bit system that they were developing, all through however long it took them. But I guess you see that happens all the time in the gaming industry or computers, phones, technology leapfrogging. You know, just seen as a bypass strategy for these companies. Some will just sit idle and 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 create this new technology that they can use to kill these products that are already out there, so they can be on top of the industry. So yeah, I mean, once PlayStation went with their 32-bit um, console, which I absolutely was probably one of my favorites besides Sega. Um, Sega, because Sega was, had a lot of cool games for it too. And that's probably why a lot of people get into these console favorites, because of the games that were on there made for them. Awesome. But anyway, yeah, 32-bit obviously doubled the amount of whatever Nintendo and Sega already had on the market, so pretty much killed their consoles and jump started a revolution in graphics and the time span between how long it takes for a new console or graphics to double or triple, and whatever that was called. I forget what that is, but I mean, that's what leapfrog Nintendo started, that leapfrogging over Atari to bring the gaming back into America with with the NES system, and ended up having that happen to them by PlayStation. So what a brutal world. But yeah, I think that's about it. So yeah, see you next week, man.